featuring Professor Ken and Reek in the Lion's Den.
Hey, we're back for a special bulletin since, we're the news network that you come to when you need something. Pandemonium. They're letting people out of incarceration and all kind of things is going on. Things are changing day by day. What say you, Professor Ken?
Well, man, we tried to warn people. Wisdom simply means wise to dumb. And that's what we tried to do. We tried to give wisdom to the dumb. We did 2 episodes. We did one on corona, manufacturing disease. We did one on the aftermath of quarantine. And now, some of the things that we was punctuating and expounding on in our last episode. Yeah. Our last episode is really coming to fruition. I was just investigating and watching the news. I found out that over half of the police force in LA has been practicing social distances. They just sent out a memo said that when you arrest somebody, you don't send them to jail no more. You just give them an arrest warrant. Depending, even if the crime is violent, it's still up to the officer whether he want to arrest that individual. In Manhattan, 2 police at a precinct got the virus, and over 40 officers called in sick because they didn't want to come in. So now, they're trying to figure out how to police the society. And me and you was talking about that, how, people are going to be walking around rampant. The police, we said this before this even came on the news. We said that the police ain't going to do their job because the police, if they arrest somebody and that person got the virus, and then that police go in there, he give the virus to half the police force, and most of them old, retirement, donut eating, coffee drinking police officers, that's just, bad health anyway. What they going to do? They're going to start dropping like flies. And once those young officers see those older officers drop like flies, they're going to keep their guns, but they're going to be the guys that doing the robbery too. Police officers are going to be kicking people doors in because they got guns and they got a legal right to carry it and taking people food. They letting people out of prison. They just said that people that got non-violent offenses will be released from prison now. They said people don't have to go to court. If you have a court date, you don't have to even go to court anymore. Law enforcement is at an uproar. Donald Trump, I told you, and me and you expounded on this, they should have just went on and let the strong survive. Whoever got the disease, they got the disease. They should have let people keep on with their daily lives as usual, because the way they doing it is not smart. It's, like I said, I'm a chess player. When I play chess, I can predict the next person's move. So not even, being in government or not even being a member of the CDC or the Food and Drug Administration, I can still telegraph the move.
Right.
And it's just common sense to me that if you allow millions of people to go home without a recourse, without a means of survival, that the only thing to do is to survive by the fittest. You know what I'm saying? It's to survive with the fittest. So now the police department is depleted. The military is going to be depleted. A lot of people in the court system, even the judges said that even the most heinous crimes, that they're not going to allow them in the court, but they will agree to do it via videotape. So the whole law enforcement is crumbling. And they trying to act like they got a hold of it. They're like, yeah, well, you know what? You can control somebody as long as you're controlling their purse strings. As long as you're giving them a job. As long as it's a pretty job. It's not a beautiful job no more. It ain't about bullying no more. It ain't about you, what they call that when the police beat somebody up, brutality. Right. It ain't about being bullied as a kid no more. It's about survival. The police officers, no matter how arrogant, no matter how insecure they are, no matter how their job made them feel like big men, that's over with. And y'all listen to me. If y'all listening, remember y'all heard it from this little old dude from Milwaukee, from the east side of Milwaukee, telling y'all that we finna see mass pandemonium. You know what I'm saying? It's finna be ugly out here. When the police start calling in sick, when the prisons start releasing people, when people start contracting disease and what they could call captivity, where they keep people incarcerated, guess what, baby? It's every man for himself. I mean, if you got any money, your money is not worth anything. Go to Walmart while you still can and purchase as much food as you can, because that's what I did. You know, I bought a lot of food. I plan to buy a lot more. I'm going to buy some every day. As soon as they fill them shelves up, I'm going to have a stockpile, because I understand that it's not going to be safe on those streets.
Right.
You know, and, you know, I know they probably come and get me after this interview, but I'm going to be strapped up. Yes, I'm going to be an ex-felon with a strap, because ain't nobody finna run up on me. You know, you run up in here, Jack, you better be posseed up, because I'm topping heads off, I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that in a violent way, I'm saying it as a survival.
Right.
I'm not going to let anybody just come and hurt me and my family, you know.
Right.
And, you know, it's crazy because, you know, me and you talked about this, and I told people, man, you cannot put 350 million people out of work and expect for them to just sit there and allow it to happen. The government talking about they're going to give each and every individual $1,000. Okay, how long that's going to last? You know, Italy, you know, right now, it's 4,000 people dead. They just broke the record. 627 people died in a 24-hour period the other day, yesterday. China has basically contained their disease, but China is a communist country, so China can impose different laws than America can impose, you know, and they got experience with this. But, you know, the way we doing it, you know, they say that that's the best way to do it, but I hope they got the money and the finances to keep people sane. You know, and just think about the people who don't have a computer, so they're making you file on a computer.
Right.
So think about all the people that can't file with the sensors on the computer. Think about all the people that sell drugs. You know,
right.
The borders been closed.
The days going to the library, that's over because a lot of libraries are shut down.
Everything is closed. Every government building establishment is closed right now. You know, the Senate is been closed down. Only thing gonna be operable is the White House, and they don't know what the hell they doing. Donald Trump do not know what he's doing. The administration don't know what they're doing, because, like I said, the only right thing to do is to just let the strong survive. Whoever can withstand the disease, let them withstand it. Because by quarantining everyone, you know, you're gonna save lives, but you're gonna destroy more lives than you save, because it's the aftermath or the quarantine that's what's gonna kill people. You know, when the police department shut down, when they tell you ain't got to go to court, when they tell you they're not issuing arrest warrants, you don't need bail no more. You know, you got to know that it didn't got serious. When New Orleans closed down and they said they're not partying in the French Quarter no more, it's official.
Right.
Now
Let's go into this little area, because, like I said, there was other people speaking on things that I think is sending the wrong message for people that, you know, live an everyday street life. The days as you known before, they're really, I'll say put on pause. I won't say they're over, but they're put on pause. You can't move like how you probably been moving.
Hey man, it's gonna be a lot of raping. Just imagine, man, all these women that frequent the club every night and all these one night stands, you know, they kind of keep a lot of things down. You know what I mean? Women out here with no men. Men out here with no women. You know what I'm saying? Men, you know, I mean, they got a problem, a sexual problem. A lot of men cannot handle their zipper. You know, they tend under the zipper. So a lot of them are going to be, you know, preying on the weak. You know what I mean? They was doing it when one brother was telling me when they took over the Nigerian government, he said the biggest problem was not the phantom, the food, you know, it was the raping. They was going in there, the soldiers and the civilians was going and they was raping the women because the women didn't have no protection. You see, when you in society and you walking up and down the street every day, you got police officers, you got security guards to protect these women. So all these women that don't have men at home, they actually at risk right now. They in trouble. You know what I mean? In so many words. You know what I mean? They vulnerable. You know, so I mean, that's why I had all my daughters, the ones that want to come get close to me, I protect them. You know what I mean? Because a nigga run up in here, hey, he gonna he gonna get that kidney that they don't want to meet. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, really though, man, it's just they not telling the whole story, brother.
Right.
You cannot survive. You cannot survive. It's too many homeless people. Even if they did try it, like I said, you said in the last thing, the only thing that's gonna save them, they have to have a central farm where they have everybody being tested and everybody being a negative, and they can serve the food from that central farm, and they need the highways filled with truckers, with semi-trucks full of food. And that's the only thing that's a commodity that's valuable right now, food. Right. If they can do that, if they can, if we could just get out of the money and the financial aspect of it and get into the survival aspect of it, and just say we're just going to, concentrate on feeding our citizens and, treating our citizens from a medical standpoint, then, we'll be all right. But if people don't have food and if people are starving out there, it's going to create mass hysteria and pandemonium. Because, like I said, it's a lot of brothers out there, man, that don't know how they're going to eat tomorrow. And it's a lot of people that's vulnerable. And if the police department, which is what we talk about, law enforcement is not operable, if they're not doing their job, then we all in trouble. We all in trouble, even the ones with pistols. They thought the Wild Wild West was something, man. It's going to be compound times 10 what that was. Because it's just like, man, it's crazy, bro. Law enforcement, they let people out of jail, man. You know what I'm saying? They let people out of jail. There's no courtrooms. There's no probation officer, dude. Correctional officers is for to quit. They're not going to be working. They don't got no guns, man. If prisons decide to take over the jail, you know what I'm saying? What they going to do? Them officers not going to protect that jail over their lives, man. They could easily be overpowered. I've been in jail, man. It's usually 30 inmates to one officer. Sometimes, in some cases, 200 inmates in a unit, you might have 2 officers. The only protection they have is the camera, And then say, for instance, if the police, the correctional officer decide to leave the facilities, if they just strike, they leave, then you got over 2.2 million inmates with no means of eating or survival. You know what I'm saying? Our loved ones that's in prison, my brother in prison, man, they really in a desperate state, because you think about it, if they made a decision whether to feed the inmates or to feed the civilians, who you think they're going to feed? They're going to demonize the inmates. Right. Because law enforcement is going astray. It's out of order, man. Yeah, but that's what I got to say about law enforcement.
Now tell me this, what did you think when you first heard when they said, yeah, we're going to shut down Vegas? That shocked me there, because Vegas ain't never shut down before.
Well, they just go to show you that they panicking. It's a panic. They don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump, ironically, fired all of the people that Obama had put in place in case of a pandemic. Since Ebola, they had a whole Ebola team, a whole pandemic team that deals with pandemic. He fired all those people because he said it was unnecessary. So what happened when we had this surge in January, this disease hit our shores, they was unprepared. And that's why they scrambling now to try to get it together. But if they would have, left what Obama had in order, then, we would have seen a different response. Because, one thing that you have to do, what I'm saying, even when you're playing chess, is you got to preempt all moves. You got to figure out what the next move is, because your next move is your best move. And you cannot be a mastermind without planning your steps 10 steps ahead. That's just in any endeavor. I was telling somebody, I was listening to Jeff Bezos' story the other day, and they was talking about how Jeff Bezos lost for 20 years. And they was like, he was asking his investors, at the stockholder meetings to trust me, believe me, I know what I'm doing. But he was taking that 20-year loss, but every year that he was lost, he was decimating his competition. So he was losing in order and taking no profit in order to build the company and make the company bigger so he could, destroy competition. Who's the only game in town? Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Amazon Prime, that's everything. Amazon is everything. Amazon is books. Amazon is Kindle. Amazon is everything.
Whole Foods.
And, Whole Foods, Washington Post, you name it. You know what I'm saying? The man, he owns shoe stores and everything. So, but the moral of the story is, when you're a chess player, sometimes you have to take some L's. I took a lot of L's. When I told everybody when they called me Pimpinken that wasn't the name that I wanted to use. My name was Ken Ivy. But because they called me Pimpinken, I had to monetize that name Pimpinken, and I had to take an L. I had to be castigized. I was criticized and castigated, by critics. People were saying that I was exploiting women. People was calling me a slum of the earth, a dirty pimp. All the time while they was calling me that, I was building my brand. I was working in the hip-hop community. I was working in corporate America. I was building my structure until we came up with Professor Ken. So now people can say, wow, that brother positive, man, him and Reek doing all this constructive stuff. They talking all this positive stuff. They give us updates on breaking news.
Okay, we back. I'm sorry for the interruption. You get calls every now and then and again. I just think it's a lot of things that are changing, and a lot of brothers that ain't abreast to this, they're going to be in a rude awakening. Matter of fact, the commander-in-chief been coming on the news damn near every day this week, so I know it's going to be something tomorrow that he's probably going to announce.
Well, the ironic thing about all this is that, these people are not equipped for this type of situation. So you can see the incompetency, you can see the unprofessionalism, and you can see the lack of preparedness, within the administration. But, we as, just people in general, we as laymen and laywomen, common everyday people, we just have to prepare ourselves. And I try to tell people that if you got $1,000 in your pocket, go buy all food. Money is becoming obsolete. Your money has no value right now. You know what I'm saying? I could give you the best example. I think we gave this example before. If you have $100 million and you have $2,000 for food, right, you're in week 4. Week 4 comes, you don't have any food. The guy that live on Broadway or on the east side of Milwaukee, or on the south side or west side of Chicago, or in Compton, or in the Bronx, or in Harlem, that same guy have a hamburger. Who's richest? You or the dude with the $100 million in the bank, or the dude with the hamburger? Because the hamburger determines, survival.
Right.
The person that consume the hamburger is going to live to see another day.
Right. The
guy with $100 million is just going to die a very, very, very wealthy man with wealth that don't even count anymore. So, that's where people always say, man, invest in Apple, invest in Nike. I'm telling niggas to invest in food. You know what I mean? Put your money in food. That's your safest bet right now if you want to survive.
This is my book, The Art of Human Chess. It's a bestseller, New York best time seller. This book here sold millions, sold all over the world, all throughout the prison system. This is the book, The 48 Laws of Game Pimpology. Make sure you get these books. If you don't want to buy the hardcover, if you don't want to buy the paperback, then the best thing to do is go to iTunes on your cell phone and type in my name, Pimpinken, and I guarantee you the book will pop up. If that don't work, go to audible.com, type in my name. If that don't work, go to amazon.com, type in my name. Anywhere books is sold all over the country, you can get my books. These are my best-selling books. You hear people talk about them all the time on Instagram, on Snapchat. These are definitely some good reads. Please get my book. I guarantee you that you will never be the same. Your life will be impacted, and also your life will be enhanced just by getting these 2 books, The Art of Human Chess and The 48 Laws of Game. Just like the 48 Laws of Power, just like The Art of War.
Too cool to come 24/7.